Hey guys, and welcome back to the big build. This is Notepad, and just to tell you guys, we are in Perran Sands, and you should be seeing some differences in the background. Because, yes, this is 1.2. 1.2, the route and the session is now out. I've added a lot more animation around the back of here to just give it more life, because there's actually a camera up here, and a static camera as well. There's a few people moving on here as well, this side. But mostly as there's a static camera there where you can mostly see. I've kept them this side. Now 1.2 does bring quite a few fixes. Along this side it was advised that the track was a little close together in certain places. I've checked that, I've changed it slightly. Now 1.0 had some grass in between the tracks. 1.1, because we moved all the DLC stuff, it got rid of that, and as you can see I've now put it back. Some of it's animated, some of it's not. There's an animated tree here. Again, there's a static camera we're going to jump to in a second just in this corner. As you can see, there's a bus also running down there. I've actually added traffic onto the roads. Here we go, so we've got some animation here. He's covering up the man slightly, but I don't mind that too much. As long as he draws your eye. That's the point of the animations, really. Oh yes, and I've added some birds in as well. In various places down the line now. Just about makes it past. I've triple checked with all the trains, it does seem to be fine. This is the static camera I told you about, and yes, there's lots more people here. That looks much nicer, doesn't it? More birds, seagulls. Now this track was across here, and I didn't like that, so I've moved it to the side. You can't see it here, but there's actually a wall round here which was missing. Now, Perran Sands isn't the only place I've been working on. Isn't it nice having traffic? So, where's another train coming in? We've done a little bit of work up here. Some missing walls and things and bits and bobs. We had a little problem with the platforms at the end here. Now, we originally had this with Ashton as well, where the end bits were disappearing. So the fix for that, well, in Ashton, was to raise the platform slightly off the ground. So I've done that here. I've hid it with some bushes. I noticed there's a bit static here. So again, I've added some more some birds here. There's more traffic going across. It doesn't want to move, which is typical. Come on. Here we go. There's a person here now. So we've got traffic going across. Only one way, because that road's not very wide. Come on, come on. So there's an animated person here, animated person here. The animated people really are just to draw your eye. Otherwise, it's very, very static, and we don't want that. A lot of the work has been further up the line. Now, I was never really happy with this area, so I've changed it. Now, I've added these cows, and the problem is, when you place them down, the animation starts as soon as you place them down. However, when you start the session, the animation starts for all of them at the same time, as you can see all their heads. So again, I'm not sure if these will stay, but in 1.2 they're here. Now in the background, look at that, all the trees and different things. I think that looks so much nicer. There's traffic on here as well, so I've had to move the cars off the road. So one's here, one's just off the road here. I've moved these slightly off the road as well. Round here, I played with these trees. I can't quite get this right here, but I'm a lot happier because we have a static camera running around here. She's looking up here, but I'm fairly happy. I put a couple of trees in for the animation again, stop it looking static. There's a static camera just at the end of this bridge here as well. So I put the bush in here. I've actually dropped it into the, it's true, so I've dropped it into the ground a little bit. So it goes below the camera, but it draws your eye once more. This side, lots of trees. In fact, if we join this train, press F number 3, we can actually watch the cameras now. Doesn't look much, it looks much nicer now, doesn't it? I want it to look barren, but the problem is making it look barren, it really does look barren, and it just there's nothing going on to actually view. And this is a big portion of the of this branch line round here. And the XVD, whatever that is. So I was saying that here we've got those two trees. It looks okay. I'm still not 100% happy. There may be some tweaking going on along here. The animated tree I just said about. I like this view though. Now this update was meant to be out a few days ago, but we've had a problem with the session, which I found out. And it was the 2-car diesel which comes all the way down. It didn't want to run all the way back up. I've added traffic here, but I'm not quite sure a bus would want to go up there. And they do pasture over each other, but there you go. I'll tell you about the diesel in a second. Let's move on to Ashton. Now this is our 3-car diesel. Now he only goes to Ashton. Now he has a similar problem. Now we had a 2-car variant going all the way down. However, coming back he didn't like it. Now we head all the way down to Perran Sands. He stopped at all the stations, but coming back he refused to stop at any. Now technically it's the lead engine here. Lead engine is the one you program, and these are our carriages. Going back to here quickly, we got some animated bushes, we got some people, and actually there's a road going round here. Just get a bit more life again. And once again we have traffic. There's the cars. Once every 30 seconds I think I've set this one to start off. But anyway, the diesel. So this one stops here and goes back again. And this one seems to run okay. He can get back from the main city to here. But he does have the issue of going back. He doesn't seem to want to stop at the single in-between station. That's the outer city station. Now, that's not a problem with him, but he does make it back. But the other 2-car diesel didn't. He would not stop at anything, come back around here and then just stop and then block the line. And it didn't matter what I did with the session. I deleted him, I deleted the session for him, its commands, put it back on. Wouldn't do it. So, I don't know. So what I've done in the end, I've replaced him back with another steam engine. And I've tested him last night. He works fine. Now, the reason why that's taken so long, and this might be him, actually. Yes, this is him. This is the replacement. Now, there are a few more details. It's the game doing its thing where it doesn't put all the details on everything. Here we go. He's quite happy now. Now, it does take ages to actually check him, because he starts off at the city, he has to go all the way down to the bottom, then comes back, and you have to see at that point whether he wants to do what you want him to do. Now, the interesting thing was what that diesel did first of all, when I first replaced it. I thought, so he went down to here in Perran. If I can actually find it. So down to Perran, and he's meant to stop at, he's meant to come down here this way, like all of them do, and stop at the next station, here. So I thought maybe I'd got the command wrong, so I changed the command from a, what was it? I've got two separate ones, which is basically the same thing, drive to. So instead of drive to a track marker, I've got him to drive to the actual platform. So what he did instead, he actually drove up this way. Got to about here, then the game crashed. That's how adamant he wasn't. He was refusing to do it. After that, he did start to drive up here, but once again, we got to around here, and the game crashed again. Now, I don't know what that was. The session was absolutely fine at that point. I triple-checked it. He was meant to come up to here, stop at Pine Valley, and but he just wouldn't. So initially, as I say, he would just pass all the stations, go up to Ashton just before Ashton, stop, not want to do anything else. Once I changed it to drive to the actual platform instead of a market, he would just get to, well, somewhere between here and Perran Sands, and then just crash. Nice ride aboard for a second. Oops. Oh, those birds are very low, aren't they? Well, that's pretty much it for that. The last things I did was just complete the camera work in the main city. Now, so actually, the outer station. Now, in version 1.0, we had some grass just here. This is just outside the main station. As you can see, the game's decided not to load up the textures properly, but oh well. So I can do about that. Now, we lost those again when we moved over to no DLCs. No DLC installed. So I've put those back. Now, it's a bit crap at the moment because the textures are not loaded in, but it does look better once it looks better here. It looks a bit overgrown. Doesn't it annoy you that Service Pack 1 does this? That is proper. That's meant to be textured. But oh well. Right, so I did that. There's a camera here. Ooh. Don't see that, luckily. And it's a bit bland along here, so I've added a few bushes. And finally, in the main city, I've added a bit more grass. The overgrown bit which is over on the track I got rid of. And the cameras were flicking between each other. I think that's fixed now. So anyway, you guys should have this update out now. So you should be available to download. If you don't have Service Pack 1 installed, you won't be using the cameras inside, but it doesn't matter too much. It's only a tiny part of it. I completely understand if you don't want to install Service Pack 1. Now this is where we find out if the cameras are working properly outside. I think they are now. That blue train's heading off the turntable to be turned round. So down here, if you remember, didn't have any grass last time we looked. It does now. Now, who's got preference here then? They're going to go onto the same track. Ah, yes, of course he has. That's his signal, isn't it, there? But as you can see, I've got rid of all the grass which was growing over everything as well. So I put some individual bits of grass in between. I think that looks a lot better. Oh, and the other last thing I've done on most of it, not all of it, is put hidden switches for this, for the I was going to say signals, but no, the junctions here. What are they called? Yes, my brain's gone, but you get the point. They are now hidden, so they don't keep coming up, which is good. A lot of them have blades, as you can see, proper blades. Some don't. It depends if I think you're going to stop there enough to actually look at them, because they take more GPU to actually show them. But I think that's looking a lot nicer. I think we're looking fine, and I think as long as I've got some time, on Saturday we're going to do a live stream, probably afternoon or evening. Check out my Facebook or Twitter pages, and that'll give you more details. It's quite likely on the Saturday we're going to do. We're going to start off the next stage, which is going to be the main line. I have to work out exactly where it's going to go. Obviously this way, but here's the thing. If I pull out enough, it needs to be quite far because it's going to be faster. That's the point. But then we're going to have a line from wherever the end is to Perran Sands as well. Now that's going to be a single track branch line, so I don't want that too far. So this one's got to try and double back on itself somehow. So it's got to be quite far but double back, and then that line could be quite short. If you want to know the roadmap for this, if you head over to my website bluewizard.uk, I actually started now writing a roadmap of what each of the last two lines, which is the main line and the coastal route, is the very last one, what I want to put on there and what we want to achieve on these. Yes, so on the live stream anyway, we're probably going to start marking out the blocks and put some basic track down. It won't be perfect. We'll probably put some markers in where we're going to put the stations, and I'll be taking feedback from you guys for actually what we're going to do. This end here is quite a bit lower than here, so we're going to have to lose a lot of height. But at the moment, on the branch line, we lose the height here. It's quite steep, so it's probably better to do it in short bursts, well, in longer bursts along the line. But we also want it to go up as well. We don't want it to just constantly go down. That would be quite boring. So it's a bit of thought's going to have to be put in. We've also got this river which is at that height, so maybe we'll cross it this way slightly. I don't know. I do want to put a freight station near to the big city on the outskirts here somewhere. So again, some thought's going to have to go here on what we actually do. But anyway, that's going to be it for this one. If you like this video, please press the like button. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And if you press that ding dong bell button, it even tells you when I put more stuff on. Yes, it does. Okay, guys, see you next time. Cheers then. Bye-bye.